Well, good evening, my extended family. Good evening. It is Tuesday night, June 16th, 2020. I hope you all had a good night's sleep last night and that the day went well for you today. Thanks again for letting me spend a few minutes with you this evening. I hope you enjoy the show as much as I enjoy producing it. Remember, if you're watching on YouTube, make sure you don't miss a broadcast by hitting the subscribe button, click on the bell, and choose all, so that you'll get a notification when a new broadcast is published. If you're watching on Facebook, feel free to share your own neighborhood stories. We all enjoy reading about them. I also just found out that Facebook has a time limit on uploading videos, so like last night's show couldn't be uploaded straight to Facebook without going through YouTube. I guess I'm getting a bit long in the tooth. I talk too much. Also, feel free, like I said last night, a few people requested that I put this on here, to send a private message with any prayer requests that you may have. A few listeners have asked me to announce this as they have their own prayer chain, and I would be happy, and they would be happy to add your prayer request in their group. I would gladly pass them on to this wonderful, prayerful group of ladies. I know we can all do with some prayers and good thoughts being offered up for us, I'm sure. I appreciate every one of you. Every evening I like to start by reminding each and every one of you that you are wonderfully made. You are wonderfully made. That you are loved and cared about by many, and that you have a lot to offer others. I think that's a big part of enjoying life, is when you have a lot to offer others. Please don't ever forget that, and don't get tired of hearing me say that. All right, let's get ready to travel. Where are we going to go tonight? Tonight's broadcast is coming from a state that was established in 1896. This state is known for having some of the best skiing in the country. The official state flower is the sago lily. The state's name means people of the mountains. The state's insect is the honeybee. And very interesting, it was a 5th grade class who lobbied to make this the state's official insect. Why is this important? Well, it's important for us to teach the youth of today that the way we make real, long-lasting change in our country is to change the laws peacefully. That's how our society is set up to work. Kids need to learn at an early age. So this morning I taught my students, number one, if you have an idea of what you want changed, write it down. Send it to your state legislator. They will debate it, and it may become the law. And that's how things are supposed to work. It's a wonderful process that we need to pass on. They didn't even know what I was talking about. It was the first time they heard this. So we need to pass on some good things to our youth. We don't want to be negligent. Some good things were passed on to us from the adults in our lives, and well, now that we're getting older, we need to make sure we pass it on. If we don't, who will? All right, back to this state. This state has the largest lake west of the Mississippi, and the water is very salty like the ocean, even saltier than the ocean, and covers more than 1 million acres. Covers more than 1 million acres. The 2002 Winter Olympics were held here. The mountains in this state average 500 inches of snow every year. Wow. Funny laws of this state. It's illegal to not drink low-quality milk. It's illegal not to drink it. I had to check this one out. It was put into effect so that people wouldn't discriminate against any milk distributors. No fishing with a crossbow. Only a fishing pole and worms, I guess. Can't use a crossbow to fish. It is illegal to cause a catastrophe in this state. I like that. I'd have been in trouble for this one. For every snowball you throw, you'll be fined $50. My old buddy John Kaminsky, John, if you're listening, you and I used to throw a lot of snowballs. Boy, oh boy, we would have put our parents in the poorhouse. This state has been known over the years for its polygamy laws. As we know, polygamy is illegal in the United States as a third-degree felony, but this state has reduced it just this year from a third-degree felony all the way down to a minor infraction on May 13th, 2020. I'm not judging, I'm just passing on some facts that popped up about this state. The nickname of this state is the Beehive State. The state capital is Salt Lake City, and the state is Utah. The character trait for the month of June is integrity, which is the quality of being who you say you are. and doing the right thing, especially when no one is looking. We learned this early back at St. Patrick's School, and at home, of course, your first teachers or your parents. Even when the nun was out of the classroom, we knew to be quiet, do our work, or else. Somehow we knew we would be caught. When the sister returned and we were actually doing what we were supposed to be doing, Sister acknowledged our good behavior just as quickly as she had to set us straight. Whenever she had to set us straight, she was just as quickly to praise us. She was proud of us, and, well, that helped us to be proud of ourselves. And we learned early that being proud of ourselves is a pretty good feeling to have. And we've carried that into our older selves. The building of integrity and responsibility at an early age. What a great thing to pass on. Hey, today is National Fudge Day. I'm glad that's not every day. I'd be in trouble. But if anybody does have a great fudge recipe, please send it to my wife. She makes great fudge. She really does. But new recipes are always welcome. The word of the day I found in an Urban Dictionary, urbandictionary.com, and it is mascadaisical. Mascadaisical. A word that refers to people who don't take wearing a mask in public places seriously. Very appropriate for these corona times. I know you're all thinking I made this word up, but I didn't. Mascadaisical. On this day in history, back in the year 1967, the 3-day Monterey International Pop Music Festival, a major event of the Summer of Love, opened in Northern California. Among the featured acts were, and if you're anywhere around my age, you'll remember the Jefferson Airplane. I think they became the Jefferson Starship, but they were the Jefferson Airplane, The Who, the Grateful Dead, the Jimi Hendrix Experience, Janis Joplin, Otis Redding, and Ravi Shankar. Wow. In 1932, President Herbert Hoover instituted the first gas tax, and we've never gotten rid of it, to help balance the budget of the United States. And you know what that gas tax was? 1 cent per gallon. In 1963, a Soviet cosmonaut, Valentina Tereshkova, becomes the first woman in space. And here's one I didn't want to say because I don't want to bring up any bad memories. 1960, Alfred Hitchcock. His film Psycho is premiered and has horrified many people since, making sure the bathroom door is locked good before getting into the shower. For those old enough to remember Laurel and Hardy, Stan Laurel was born on this date back in 1890. Now, what was going on in Jail Hill where I grew up? Jail Hill, this is the time of year that pools were being open, windows left open at night for the cool breeze coming up the hill. Older people sitting on their porch at night talking and smoking cigars or a pipe. I remember listening from my bedroom window to Harrison and Alvin talking on Harrison's porch while they listened to the Yankee game. We all had tents for sleeping outside, a big deal over the summer. Tony and Jimmy Grumko had the first cabin tent in the neighborhood, so you could just imagine a group of us, like 8 of us kids, sleeping, or actually not sleeping, under one huge tent, walking around the neighborhood after their parents went to bed. We thought staying up until 1 in the morning was the biggest thing in the world, and then getting up at 6 the next morning to start the paper route. I wouldn't want to do that now. The paper route would be great, but I don't want to stay up until 1 in the morning and get up at 6. What a great way to grow up. Somehow it's funny, I still remember the Norwich Bulletin's number, 887-9211. I must have called it a million times. Back then you didn't have to put 860 or 203 before the number. Things were so much simpler back then. Anyway, that's the show for tonight. So until we meet again, let us all have a blessed, peaceful night, and let's be kind to one another. Again, and as always, you truly are quite special. The world would not be the same without you, so don't even think of leaving. The world, and especially the people right around you, need you, and that's a good thing. That's a very good thing. So good night, and may God bless.